Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds allowed.
What is going on, people? What's going on today, man? Thank you guys for coming back and welcome to the Big B Daily Show, man. What's going on? This is your man, Big B. What is happening? What is happening? We are live on TikTok, live on YouTube, man. Having a good time today. It's Thursday before Christmas. So we're going to be off for a few days next week for Christmas. I'm going home to see the fam, going home to see my mom. Haven't been home in a minute, so obviously we'll be off Christmas Day, but we'll be off a couple of days over Christmas. I'll be back on the 28th. We'll get it rolling again then. So we'll take off a few days and we'll make it work. We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. But either way, thank you guys for joining. Monday through Friday at 4 p.m., live on TikTok, live on YouTube. If you're not following and you're on TikTok, please give us a follow and come on over to YouTube. Click that YouTube link in the bio. Come on over to YouTube and then join the show over there. Subscribe to Big B Sports Talk over on YouTube. Having a good time. So I appreciate you all, man. Thank you guys for showing up. Let's get into this today a little bit. So the Lakers, the Los Angeles Lakers, put all that energy into winning an in-season tournament, which I'll admit was good basketball. I'll admit the in-season tournament was good basketball. So, but then all of a sudden, now they've lost 4 or 5. Somebody over here, Overstreet Families Fitness, says, why is everyone saying the Lakers post-Tourney struggles? Because they've lost 4 or 5 games since they won the tournament. That's what post-Tourney struggles mean. They weren't struggling before. Now they are. And just because they had lost a few games didn't mean they were struggling. Now they're struggling. So they weren't struggling the same before. Stop it. So either way, the bottom line is they're not playing good basketball. They're playing bad basketball right now. And they got to find a way to get it back. You know, it was good basketball. That whole tournament was good basketball, but you put a little bit too much emphasis on that. And here we are. So it's crazy that they can't put it together more consistently. I think they keep talking about they're going to make a trade. They talked about getting Zach LaVine, and you know, that was 2 weeks ago. And Zach LaVine beat him up last night. Well, DeMar DeRozan, but you know, the Lakers just can't figure this thing out. Too much inconsistency. So, and you're right. AD is the opposite of consistency. You are correct. He is the opposite of consistency. Not good. Not just so up and down. Just so up and down. It's bad. So hopefully they can figure some stuff out. Because I'm a Laker guy. I'm not even a Laker guy. I'm a LeBron guy. But I'm a fan of greatness. I like LeBron. I like Jordan, Kareem, Shaq, Kobe. I like them all. So that's right. LeBron's going to be 39 years old. He's the most consistent guy on the team, which is insane. Come on, Anthony Davis. Come on, man. Come on. So, yeah, I just like good basketball, man. I just like good basketball from everybody. That's all. That's what I enjoy watching. Good, solid basketball. So I appreciate it. But moving on, man. Moving on. Speaking of appreciating, Zion Williamson. Have y'all heard the reports? So Zion only played in 29 games last year. You know, he signed that big extension, it was like for $197 million. But there were clauses in that extension that if he missed so much time, that the last 3 years of his contract are not guaranteed. Well, that escalator kicked in, and the last 3 years of his contract are not guaranteed. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So basically, what it comes down to, if New Orleans chooses to get rid of Zion, he will have lost out on $118 million. Let me say that again. Because Zion Williamson couldn't find it in his heart to be in shape to play. You can't really blame him for not being healthy, but you can blame him for not being in shape and not being healthy. Because we all know that him not being in shape is part of the reason that he's not healthy. So here he is, and they can void the last 3 years, $118 million. Gone. So now, will they trade him? I don't know. Will they cut him? Probably not. But it's just the simple fact that you put yourself in that position. It is crazy to me. And I know what a lot of people are saying. Well, he doesn't want to be in New Orleans. And that is 100% true. Zion wants no part of New Orleans. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want anything to do with New Orleans. So he doesn't want any part of New Orleans. He didn't want it the night of the draft lottery. You could tell he didn't want to be there. But now he's there, and people are saying, well, this is a way for him to get out. Really? You're going to give up $118 million to get out? Because here's the thing. Zion gets out, nobody's going to line up to pay him that kind of money. No. They're going to make him prove it. They're going to make him prove that he can be in shape over a multitude of years. Not, hey, okay, well, he did it for 1 year. We're good. Nobody's doing that. And if anybody does, they're going to put him on another contract where he's got to do the same stuff. Oh, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know. And Zion is $118 million because you can't put the fork down. Even a fat guy like me could put the fork down for $118 million. I could put it down for that. Yeah, I could do that. $1 million. I could do that. I could do that. So, I don't know. It's wild. I would believe it will be his last year, but I don't know if another team will fix him staying in shape. I don't either. I don't know if another team can fix him staying in shape. So, my man Matt Hasselbring brings up a good point. Now, this is off topic. Talking about my Louisville Cardinals. Are they going to be able to make a game of it tonight? Matt, no. It's going to be brutal. It'll be 20, 25 points. It'll be at least 20 points 11 minutes into the game. The way Kentucky shoots it, the way we don't guard anybody, Kentucky will be up 20 points between 8 and 11 minutes into the game. And is it Kenny Payne's last game? I would hope. I mean, if they get beat by 30 points, the guy's got to go. Not to mention, here's the big thing. Rumors and reports are coming out in Louisville that there's going to be like 12, 13,000 Kentucky fans in the Yum Center. If that happens, Kenny Payne got to be fired right after the game. Right after the game. Yeah, I'm already all over the spread. 13 and a half. You guys must be out of your mind. This game will be 13 and a half, 7 minutes in. Jiminy Christmas. Getting back on topic, people. Getting back. Thursday night football. It's going to be a game. Somebody mentioned it earlier on TikTok. It is going to be a game. A good playoff game. The Saints at the Rams. Both of them got to have it. Both of them got to have it. The Saints got to have it because they got to win the division. The Rams are fighting for that playoff spot. I love when these games come down to this at the end of the year. You know, these non-division leaders that these game matters, which I guess technically the Rams are, or the Saints are right there. So when tied for the division. But I love it. I love it. Let me look at these standings real quick, man. Let me look at these. Absolutely. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. The Rams are in the playoff. The Saints are tied with them. Both have 7-7 records. It don't get no better than this. You don't get no better than this, man. Late season games that matter like this doesn't get a whole lot better. Not to mention, I think the Rams are going to beat them. I think the Rams are going to whip the Saints, to be honest with you. I do. Derek Carr, big game. Come on. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? You know, the Rams defense is playing better every week. Matthew Stafford looks about the healthiest that he's looked all year. So I think it's a blowout. I think the Rams beat them by at least 10. I think they win by at least 10. I'm not streaming the game tonight because I got some other stuff to do, so I'm not streaming the game, but man, it's going to be brutal. It is going to be brutal. So, yeah, the Rams are going to have too much offense, man. The Rams are going to have too much offense. Too much. And again, it's Derek Carr. Derek Carr for the Saints in a big game. Bad. Just bad. Just bad. So, I don't know what the Saints draft pick, if they win the division, it's going to depend on how the rest of the league finishes up. So, the lot still to be determined when it comes to draft picks right now. A lot still needs to be determined. So, Carr in prime time. Exactly. So, oh, yeah, it'll definitely come down to week 18 on those draft picks. And on the playoffs, it's going to come down on both divisions, which is what we want. You know, the NFL knows what they're doing. This is what we want. We want it to come down to the last game and for those games to matter. You know, that's exactly what we want. It's exactly what we want. So let's move on, man. Let's move on. What kind of questions you guys got today? Show's going to be a little shorter today. Like I said, I got some stuff that I've got going on that I have to take care of. So what do we got? 17th game, best thing that they did in the league in a long time. I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. I mean, putting the guys at even more of a risk than what they are. Yeah, no. I don't vibe with the 17-game thing. I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. If you want to do something, get rid of those 2 preseason games. Play 2 preseason games. That's all you need. That's it. But the owners want the extra money. They don't really care about player safety like they say they do. Come on. Come on. They don't care. They don't care. Steve Ritchie over on YouTube, he says, trade Tomlin for a high draft pick for a top QB. I don't know if you can get a high draft pick, but I think you can get an extra draft pick. The one thing about the Steelers, and I want people to understand this, they're not just a QB away. The Steelers got other holes on their team that need to be addressed. So, yes, having a better quarterback would 1,000% help. It's not just the quarterback that's the problem there. They got a middle linebacker problem. They got an outside of Joey Porter Jr., they got a cornerback problem. They absolutely still have an offensive line problem. So the Steelers got issues. It's not just the quarterback. That's just the big glaring issue. But there's other issues. So we'll see. We will see. Dirty Sanchez says, Big B, salute. Who is your front runner for Defensive Player of the Year? Defensive Player of the Year right now, I would say, would be Myles Garrett. It would be Myles Garrett. I wanted to say TJ Watt. I've been fighting for TJ Watt. It's not Parsons. Parsons hadn't even played. Did Parsons play last week? Because he didn't have a stat. So I'm just wondering, did he play last week? So, I mean, he had no stats. I mean, I know he was out there, but was he actually playing? No. Parsons ain't Defensive Player of the Year. No. Nope. So, but yeah, I would say it's Myles Garrett at this particular moment in time. So, everybody doesn't scheme away from him. Come on, man. Stop making excuses for a guy that has no stats. You're telling me you're the Defensive Player of the Year and you have no stats in a big game and all they're doing is running? Or did they run the ball at him and he can't stop the run? Now, stop that, Overstreet. You know Micah Parsons is horrific against the run. You know that. And all they did was run the football. So, oh, you're a Cowboys fan, so that's why. Okay, never mind. I get it. Because anybody that's saying that Bland is the Defensive Player of the Year, I'll just let that go. We'll move on, man. Anyway, to answer that question, my man Sanchez, it would be absolutely Myles Garrett. So, like I said, I wanted TJ Watt, but defense has been too bad for him to win it. I mean, your defense can't be horrible and you win Defensive Player of the Year. So, good point by my man Austin. What hurts the Steelers' D, one of the highest paid, is nothing without Watt. Maybe Minka. The Steelers got by without Minka for a few weeks. They got by without him. It hurt them, but they got by. What hurts the Steelers is they don't have a second cornerback that's any good. Patrick Peterson is a nickel guy. He's not good. He can't play on the outside anymore. They don't have another safety. They're soft up the middle. I mean, the Steelers have holes. It's not just the corner. They got holes, man. I wish it was just the quarterback or our corner. There's other things. So, and Steve Ritchie, you're right. They're leading. Watt is leading Garrett in literally every category, except defense as a whole. Their defense is better and his team is better. That has to matter. I mean, Myles Garrett is the leading guy on one of the best defenses in the league. If that doesn't matter, then you shouldn't play the games. I mean, that matters. And he's the leader of that. So let's not kid ourselves. So, here's a good question here. If the Saints don't win this game, we need to try and get a shot or a spot for Jaden Daniels. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. The thing about it is I don't think the Saints are ready to say that they made a mistake with Derek Carr, which is their problem. I mean, they made the mistake. I have no idea why they signed him to begin with. I still don't understand. And let me ask you guys this question. Does anybody think that Derek Carr is better than Jameis Winston? I mean, and y'all know me, I am hard on 30 for 30 Winston. But does anybody think that Derek Carr was just better than Jameis Winston? Because I don't think he was at all. I don't think he did anything on a football field better than Jameis Winston, except maybe not taking unnecessary chances. But he doesn't have a better arm strength. You know, his arm isn't better. You know, Jameis Winston is super smart at the whiteboard, so he knows where to go with the football. Derek Carr doesn't do anything better. So, I don't know. That's just crazy to me. Winston never really had a shot in New Orleans. That's a good point, Steve. He didn't really have a shot. He had it, and then he got hurt, and then they didn't give it back to him. He had a shot. He played well, gets hurt, breaks his damn back, and then they don't give him another opportunity to come back when he's healthy. That was crazy to me. Crazy. But it is what it is. Heading to the Pop-Tarts Bowl in Orlando. NC State or K-State? Of course I'm going for K-State. I mean, that's crazy talk. Well, man, how's you going down to the Pop-Tarts Bowl? You must be going to Orlando anyway. There's no way you're just going down there to see that game. I would guess, Matt. I would guess, but maybe you are. I love it. Should have told me. I could have sent you a K-State shirt. I think that the Saints have no reason not to take a QB. It's a big problem. Gone Jen, you're exactly right. I think the Saints have to take a quarterback. They have to take a quarterback. I think it's crazy if they don't take a QB. I think it's absolutely nuts. But we've seen crazier things happen, man. We have seen crazier things happen in the National Football League. So we have seen a lot of stuff go on. Crazy. So who knows what they'll do? Let me ask you all one question. I put a post up last week talking about bowl games. Y'all still think bowl games are relevant? Because I still think they are. I still think bowl games are very, very relevant just for the simple fact of the production of your football team. You know, you still have to, and the development of your football team. I still think, Pete, bowl games are still important because you got to develop. I mean, everybody's not going in the transfer portal. You're not going to lose 50 guys outside of Colorado who kicked off 50 guys, but you're not losing 50 guys a year. So you got young guys to play, develop, see what they got. You know, I think it's very, very important. Some people don't think. And the one that I will say this, and I'll say it forever. So people that say that bowl games are irrelevant, either one, never participated in one, or two, doesn't have a kid that played in one. I'll say that forever. Either you didn't participate in one, so you have no idea how important they are, or number two, you don't have a kid that was part of it. So have they lost their luster? Yeah, just like signing day lost its luster. But they are absolutely relevant. So they are absolutely relevant. Bowl games are relevant, but it's a bit too saturated. Now that I agree with. They got 18 million bowl games. They need to cut that in half. I mean, look, I went to school 100 years ago. But back in those days, if you were 6-6, you didn't even get thought about going to a bowl. You weren't going to no bowl game at 6-6. I mean, that was back when they only played 11 games. You had to win at least 7 to even be considered. And even then, it may have been a stretch. But yeah, this business of 6-6 and you're going to a bowl, I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? I don't get it. I don't get it. So a lot of, I don't know, it's a lot of money, a lot of corporate money. That's what bowl games are. So that part of it, but I definitely think bowl games are relevant. So definitely think bowl games are relevant. So yeah, a lot of people don't like the fact that the best players decline to play in bowls. 100%. But I see both sides of it because if I'm a top draft pick I don't want to risk it. I mean, we've seen it happen. Guys get hurt, and careers are never the same. Jalen Smith is a perfect example. He was picked to go no lower than 5th in the draft. Gets hurt in the Fiesta Bowl and gets drafted in the 2nd round as a gift. Never the same. I mean, heck, he had nerve damage that he still deals with. Can't run, can't pick up his heel. I mean, it's crazy. Crazy what can happen. It's a lot of money lost. But people, the one thing that I don't agree with are people that are like 5th round draft picks, 6th round draft picks. Well, I'm going to work on my stock. What do you think? Going and working out is going to help your stock versus playing in a bowl game where you can actually produce on the football field? Give me a break. And if you're that afraid of being hurt, then come on. You're going to go play football. But here's the thing. The same guys, some of these seniors that'll sit out a bowl game will go play in the East-West Shrine game or the Senior Bowl. They'll go play in that game. And I'm like, I don't know. So it's crazy. And nobody's going from 3rd round to undrafted by playing in a game unless you got hurt. That ain't happening. Now, if you get hurt, yeah, okay. But you're not going from a 3rd round pick to undrafted because you have one bad game. That's not going to happen. Or you weren't really a 3rd round pick to begin with. I will say that. So, Rob Johnson is thinking that Washington might take a QB too. Some of these teams are going to have to trade up for a QB. I think there's going to be a bunch of teams, Rob, that trade up for a quarterback, which is going to make it fun, which is going to make the draft this year a lot more fun. So, yep, go Jen. This year's draft is going to be weird because there's only a few teams that need a QB there. Is going to move, or more good QBs than QBs needing teams. Yeah, that means just what Rob said. There's going to be teams moving up. It's going to be interesting to see what Chicago does. That's the team that I'm interested to see what happens. Is the Chicago Bears. What do they do? Do they keep Justin Fields? Do they move off of him? Do they take another quarterback? It's going to be very interesting to see what the Bears do. Because if you keep Fields, you can take Marvin Harrison Jr. and an offensive tackle, and you can set yourself up. They still got a ton of cap space. Spend that on defense. The Bears can become really good really quick, but it's the Bears. The Bears want to screw it up. They want to screw it up. So we'll see. We will see. My man, Golf Hawk. Prime has learned from this season. The work done in the portal was great. The Buffs are going to be better next year. Yeah, because they're going to have somewhat of an offensive line, which they didn't have last year. The one thing is they didn't recruit any high school guys. They're going to have to get more high school. You can't just live on the portal. You got to sign high school guys. So while I love what Prime is doing in the portal, and they will be better, there's no question they'll be better. You can't sign 5 high school guys. That's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. You got to have more players than that coming to your program. You got to have more than that. So we'll see. We will see. Trade Fields to Atlanta. They had their opportunity last year and they didn't do it. Atlanta, Arthur Blank, he's got to feel like an idiot. He wouldn't pay Lamar Jackson when they had an opportunity to go get Lamar Jackson. He said no. They didn't trade for Fields. They went into the season with a ready-made roster to win a bad division, except they had horrible quarterbacks, and now they're not going to win the division. Not to mention their head coach is terrible. So we'll see, man. We will see. Now look at this. My man Matt Hasselbrain agrees with what I said. Bears need to keep Fields, draft Harrison, and an O lineman, but their front office is terrible. You're right. But hopefully, Ryan Pace, the general manager, decides, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. If he can make that decision and nobody gets in his way, the Bears have an opportunity to be good. So the Bears have an opportunity. We'll see what happens, though. We will see what happens. We're going to shut this one down for today, people. Like I said, sorry for the short show, but I got some stuff that I have to do today. So got to get it taken care of. As always, man, if you're on TikTok, please give me a follow. If you're in here and you're not following already, please do. Same thing over on YouTube, man. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to Big B Sports Talk. We will be back tomorrow. It'll be the last show before Christmas. So, like I said, I'm going home to see my mom over Christmas. So I will not be here. I will not be around to do the show, taking a couple days off. So tomorrow, big show. Come in, tell your buddies, and I will holler at you guys tomorrow, man. You guys have a good one.